Who can you trust? This age-old question echoes through the corridors of time, finding resonance with the Stoic wisdom of ancient philosophers. Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches the importance of understanding one's own mind and the nature of human behavior, offers invaluable insights into discerning trustworthiness. As Seneca once noted, "Time discovers truth." Today, we'll explore the types of people Stoicism advises us to be wary of, not through skepticism, but through a profound understanding of human nature and virtues. In a world brimming with diverse personalities and intentions, the Stoic philosophy provides a compass for navigating complex social interactions. It teaches us that trust should not be given hastily, but should be based on reason, observation, and importantly, alignment with virtuous behavior. This guide will unveil characteristics deemed untrustworthy by Stoicism, helping you to make more informed decisions about whom to let into your inner circle. By the end of this exploration, you'll not only be equipped to better assess the trustworthiness of those around you, but also enhance your own reliability as a virtuous individual. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius stated, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Let us embark on this journey not out of suspicion, but from a desire to surround ourselves with those who uplift and inspire the best within us. Before we delve deeper, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. This way, you won't miss out on more insightful discussions that help refine your judgment and foster a life of virtue and tranquility. Let's uncover the types of people the Stoics warn us to be cautious about, ensuring our trust is well placed and our relationships are grounded in genuine respect and mutual growth. Lesson 1. The Flatterer, Stoicism's caution against ingratiating personalities. In the Stoic examination of human interactions, few types are as distrusted as the flatterer. This lesson delves into why Stoicism teaches us to be wary of those who use flattery and excessive praise as a tool for personal gain, highlighting the dangers of allowing such individuals close to our inner circle. Stoicism, grounded in virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, inherently mistrusts the superficial charm of the flatterer. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, once warned, "Keep yourself from being deceived by the semblance of flattery." Stoics argue that flattery is often a form of manipulation rather than a genuine appreciation or respect for another's qualities. The flatterer's motives are frequently self-serving, aimed at lowering the defenses of their target to influence or control them for personal or professional gain. This type of behavior can be particularly dangerous because it appeals to one of the most common human weaknesses: vanity. The flatterer knows that people like to be praised and often uses this knowledge to create a sense of indebtedness or to inflate the ego of their target, making them more susceptible to suggestion and less critical of the flatterer's intentions. The danger here is not only in the potential manipulation, but also in becoming accustomed to such praise, which can detach individuals from reality, leading to poor decision-making based on distorted self-perception. Stoicism teaches us to seek friends who value honesty over harmony, individuals who will challenge us and help us grow, rather than those who would tell us only what we want to hear. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of surrounding oneself with people who are able to speak the hard truths, suggesting that the best kind of friend is one who can play the role of a respectful critic rather than a deceptive cheerleader. To guard against the influence of the flatterer, Stoics practice the discipline of perception, to see beyond appearances to the intentions that fuel actions. They advise us to question the sincerity behind excessive praise. Is the praise warranted? What might this person want from me? Stoicism also encourages a humility that is immune to flattery, cultivating a self-awareness that acknowledges one's own strengths and weaknesses openly, making one less susceptible to the manipulation of those who would use praise as a weapon. In practical terms, avoiding the trap of the flatterer involves fostering relationships based on genuine respect and mutual growth. It requires developing a discerning eye that can distinguish between honest compliments and strategic flattery. Engaging in this discernment helps maintain one's focus on personal virtue and integrity rather than external approval. In conclusion, Stoicism's warning about the flatterer teaches us an essential lesson in interpersonal relationships. By understanding and implementing Stoic principles, we learn to value sincerity over superficiality, ensuring that our relationships enhance rather than hinder our pursuit of a virtuous and fulfilling life. Through this lens, we can protect ourselves from manipulation and foster connections that are genuinely supportive and grounded in reality. Lesson 2. The Pretender. Stoicism and the Dangers of Deception. Stoicism, with its deep roots in cultivating personal integrity and authenticity, teaches us to be especially cautious of the pretender, those who wear masks to disguise their true intentions or capabilities. This lesson explores why the Stoics warn against trusting such individuals and how such deception can undermine personal and professional relationships. The pretender, in the Stoic view, is someone who adopts various facades to create a favorable impression or manipulate others to achieve their own ends. This could manifest as someone overstating their skills, expressing sentiments they do not genuinely feel, or committing to ideals they do not truly uphold. Such behavior not only breeds distrust, but also corrupts the foundation of any meaningful human interaction, which should be based on honesty and transparency. Stoic philosophy holds that the essence of good character and a peaceful life lies in being true to one's nature and principles. Seneca, a leading Stoic thinker, highlighted the perils of duplicity when he said, "No man can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude, without finally getting bewildered as to which one is true." The inconsistency exhibited by pretenders not only confuses those around them, but often leads the pretenders themselves into a trap of their own making, where they lose touch with their true self. The dangers of engaging with a pretender are multifaceted. Firstly, such individuals can lead you astray from your moral and ethical standards by presenting a distorted view of reality that serves their agenda. Secondly, in a professional context, pretenders can undermine team dynamics and organizational goals by not fulfilling the roles or tasks they claim they can handle, leading to failures and setbacks. Lastly, on a personal level, relationships with pretenders are typically shallow and unsatisfying, lacking the depth and authenticity that come from genuine interaction. To protect oneself from the influence of pretenders, Stoicism teaches the practice of discernment, developing the ability to see beyond appearances and assess the true nature of people's intentions and character. This involves observing consistency between a person's words and actions over time, seeking evidence of their claims, and listening to the instincts and judgments formed through careful reasoning. Stoics also advocate for confronting pretenders with calm and reasoned discussions to challenge their assertions, providing them an opportunity to be honest or correct their behavior. Building relationships with individuals known for their transparency and reliability is another Stoic strategy. These relationships serve as a counterbalance to the instability introduced by pretenders, creating a community grounded in trust and mutual respect. Moreover, by focusing on personal development and embodying the virtues of honesty and integrity oneself, one can set a standard and attract like-minded individuals. In conclusion, the Stoic caution against the pretender is a reminder of the value of authenticity in all aspects of life. By practicing discernment, engaging in honest communication, and aligning with truthful individuals, we can avoid the pitfalls of deception and foster relationships that are not only trustworthy, but also deeply fulfilling. Through these practices, we uphold the Stoic ideal of living a life true to oneself and in harmony with others. Lesson 3. The self-serving manipulator, a Stoic warning. Stoicism, with its emphasis on virtue and community, is inherently wary of those who act out of pure self-interest, the self-serving manipulators. This lesson explores how this type of individual can disrupt personal peace and societal harmony, and the Stoic approach to recognizing and handling interactions with manipulative personalities. The self-serving manipulator typically operates by exploiting others to achieve their own goals, disregarding the well-being and interests of those around them. Such individuals are skilled in the art of persuasion and often use emotional manipulation as a tool to bend others to their will. They might fabricate stories, withhold information, or play on emotions to mislead people into acting against their own best interests. For Stoics, the presence of a manipulator is particularly troubling because it conflicts with the core Stoic values of honesty, integrity, and justice. Manipulative behaviors lead to a breakdown of trust, which is the foundation of functional personal and professional relationships. When trust is compromised, collaboration, understanding, and mutual respect, all essential for a flourishing community, begin to erode. Recognizing a manipulator requires careful observation and critical thinking, skills that Stoicism teaches through practices like reflection and the examination of one's impressions. Key signs of manipulation include inconsistent statements, frequent attempts to elicit sympathy or guilt, and actions that do not align with stated values or principles. These behaviors often create a feeling of confusion or discomfort in those targeted, signaling that something in the relationship dynamics may be amiss. Once identified, dealing with manipulators involves setting firm boundaries and practicing assertive communication. Stoics advocate for responding to manipulation with reasoned calmness and clarity, asserting one's needs and limits without emotional turmoil, which manipulators often seek to exploit. It's also advised to keep interactions factual and evidence-based, reducing the manipulator's ability to distort reality. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages looking inward and strengthening one's character to resist manipulation. This includes developing virtues such as wisdom to see through deceit, justice to act fairly despite provocation, courage to stand up against manipulative tactics, and temperance to control one's emotional responses, preventing manipulators from using them as leverage. In community and personal life, Stoics understand the importance of surrounding oneself with individuals who demonstrate integrity and goodwill. Cultivating relationships with such people provides a supportive network that can offer guidance and feedback when one is at risk of being manipulated. These relationships are based on mutual respect and genuine care, standing in stark contrast to those defined by manipulation. In conclusion, the self-serving manipulator represents a significant challenge to the Stoic goal of living a virtuous and peaceful life. By learning to recognize manipulative behaviors, setting clear boundaries, and fostering strong personal virtues, one can protect oneself from being exploited and contribute to creating a more just and supportive community. Through these efforts, we embody the Stoic ideal of a life well lived, marked by resilience in the face of deception and steadfastness in the pursuit of good. Lesson 4. The Eternal Pessimist, Stoicism's perspective on negativity. In the Stoic worldview, maintaining a balanced perspective on life's events is crucial. The eternal pessimist, who perpetually sees the downside in every situation, can challenge this balance, making it difficult to maintain a constructive and forward-looking attitude. This lesson examines the Stoic approach to dealing with pervasive negativity and why excessive pessimism is seen as a trait to be wary of in individuals. Pessimism, according to Stoicism, is not just a benign tendency to see the glass as half empty. Rather, it represents a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of life and a barrier to personal growth. Stoics argue that life is inherently filled with both good and bad experiences, and that wisdom lies in accepting this reality without disproportionate distress. The eternal pessimist, however, rejects this balanced view, focusing only on potential negatives and often overlooking the positive aspects or opportunities that circumstances might present. This unrelenting negativity can be draining and infectious, potentially leading even the most resilient individuals to doubt their actions and decisions. For Stoics, who value the cultivation of personal virtue and the pursuit of tranquility, associating closely with those who consistently espouse a pessimistic outlook can hinder emotional well-being and distract from the pursuit of a virtuous life. To manage the influence of the eternal pessimist, Stoicism teaches the practice of objective judgment and internal control. This involves recognizing that while you cannot change another person's outlook, you can control your reaction to it. Stoics would advise practicing the discipline of assent, which is about responding to impressions in a way that maintains your inner peace. When confronted with negativity, you might remind yourself that the pessimist's views are reflections of their judgments, not facts about the world. Engaging constructively with a pessimist involves promoting a more balanced perspective during your interactions. This can be achieved by gently challenging their negative assumptions and introducing alternative, more positive viewpoints. However, Stoics also recognize the importance of choosing one's battles wisely, knowing when efforts to adjust someone's perspective are likely to be fruitful and when they are likely to be futile. If the relationship with an eternal pessimist becomes overwhelmingly negative and resistant to change, it may be necessary to distance oneself to preserve one's own mental health and focus on personal goals. Stoicism does not advocate for cutting ties rashly, but it does emphasize the importance of surrounding oneself with people who contribute positively to one's life. In conclusion, while Stoicism teaches tolerance and understanding, it also stresses the importance of protecting one's own mental space from influences that can disturb one's peace and hinder personal growth. Dealing with the eternal pessimist requires a balance of engagement and detachment, helping where possible, but also safeguarding one's own perspective and emotional well-being. Through this approach, we can maintain our commitment to living according to Stoic principles, focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. Lesson 5. The Habitual Liar, Stoicism on Honesty and Deception. From the Stoic viewpoint, honesty is not just a moral choice, but a fundamental aspect of a harmonious and effective life. This lesson explores Stoicism's caution against trusting the habitual liar, whose consistent dishonesty poses significant risks to personal and professional relationships. In Stoicism, the virtue of honesty is closely tied to the concept of living in accordance with nature, which includes being true to one's own rational and social nature. The habitual liar violates this principle by distorting reality to suit their own ends, undermining trust and the ability to cooperate, which are essential for social and communal living. For Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, who emphasized the importance of truth as a cornerstone of community and personal integrity, engaging with a habitual liar is fraught with danger. The risks of interacting with a habitual liar are manifold. Firstly, dishonesty creates a foundation of uncertainty. If you cannot trust what someone says, it becomes nearly impossible to build any form of reliable or meaningful relationship. In professional settings, this unreliability can lead to serious consequences, affecting decisions, projects, and teamwork. In personal relationships, it erodes the trust and safety necessary for intimacy and support. Identifying a habitual liar involves recognizing patterns in their behavior. This includes inconsistencies in their stories, frequent cover-ups when confronted with evidence that contradicts their statements, and a general discomfort or evasion when pressed for details. Stoics would advise observing these signs without immediate judgment, but with a rational assessment of the patterns and their implications. Once a pattern of lying is established, Stoicism advocates for a measured response. This involves confronting the individual with evidence of their dishonesty, ideally in a manner that encourages honesty rather than defensive reactions. However, the Stoics also recognize the importance of protecting one's own peace of mind. If a liar does not show genuine intent to change or continues to manipulate the truth, it may be necessary to distance oneself from them to maintain one's own tranquility and focus on more positive relationships. In situations where distancing is not immediately possible, such as in family relationships or required professional interactions, Stoicism teaches the cultivation of indifference to things outside one's control, including others' behavior. This does not mean passivity, but rather an internal fortitude that prevents others' dishonesty from disturbing one's state of mind. This approach involves developing a strong sense of self-reliance and personal integrity that acts as a shield against the chaos that dishonesty can bring into one's life. In conclusion, the habitual liar represents a significant challenge to the Stoic ideal of a community based on trust and rational cooperation. By cultivating an awareness of dishonest patterns, responding with calm rationality, and choosing one's social circle wisely, one can protect themselves from the negative impacts of deceit. This adherence to Stoic principles helps maintain not only personal integrity, but also a life that is tranquil and true to one's nature. Lesson 6. The Egoist. Stoicism's warning against self-centeredness. Stoicism, a philosophy deeply rooted in the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, inherently distrusts egoism, the excessive preoccupation with one's self-interests. This lesson explores the Stoic rationale for caution against the egoist and how this personality type can undermine both personal growth and communal harmony. The egoist typically views situations and relationships through the lens of self-gain, often at the expense of others' needs or feelings. This self-centered attitude conflicts sharply with Stoic principles, which emphasize the importance of acting for the common good and respecting the interconnectedness of all individuals. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, life is about contributing to society and living in harmony with others, actions that require putting aside personal gain for the greater good. Egoism can be particularly damaging because it breeds other negative traits such as greed, envy, and pride, which further alienate individuals from those around them. Relationships with egoists are often unfulfilling and one-sided, as they tend to prioritize their desires and view others primarily as means to their ends. This not only devalues the inherent worth of individuals, but also erodes the trust and mutual respect necessary for healthy relationships. Recognizing an egoist involves observing their interactions and priorities. Signs may include a frequent disregard for others' opinions, difficulty in celebrating others' successes, and a pattern of manipulating situations to their advantage. Egoists may also react negatively when their self-interest is challenged, displaying anger or defensiveness rather than openness to other perspectives. Dealing with egoists, according to Stoicism, requires a balance of assertiveness and emotional detachment. It is crucial to assert one's own needs and boundaries clearly, refusing to be used or disregarded. However, Stoics would also advise maintaining a level of emotional detachment, meaning that one should not allow the egoist's behavior to disturb one's inner peace or dictate one's emotional responses. Engaging with an egoist effectively involves encouraging them to see the benefits of considering others, not just for moral reasons, but for practical and self-serving ones as well. For instance, helping them understand that cooperative relationships can lead to greater personal happiness and fulfillment might motivate them to adopt a more communal perspective. If the egoist shows no willingness to consider the broader impacts of their behavior, it may be necessary to limit or end the relationship. Stoicism teaches that we should not waste energy on relationships that are persistently harmful or unproductive. Instead, focus should be directed towards cultivating relationships with individuals who share a commitment to virtue and mutual respect. In conclusion, while egoism is often viewed through a moral lens, from a Stoic perspective, it is also a practical concern. Egoists challenge the harmony and effectiveness of both individual lives and the wider community. By recognizing egoistic behaviors, asserting one's needs, and practicing emotional detachment, one can protect themselves from the negative influences of egoism and foster more meaningful and supportive connections. Lesson 7. The Unforgiving: Stoicism's Approach to Forgiveness and Resentment. Stoicism teaches the importance of forgiveness as a pathway to personal peace and communal harmony, warning against the corrosive nature of holding grudges. This lesson explores the Stoic perspective on why we should be wary of those who are chronically unforgiving and how harboring resentment can be detrimental to both individual well-being and social relations. The unforgiving person holds on to past wrongs, refusing to let go of resentment and bitterness. This inability to forgive not only perpetuates personal suffering, but also poisons interactions with others, often keeping the unforgiving individual in a state of anger and victimhood. According to Stoic philosophy, such attitudes are in direct opposition to living a virtuous and rational life. Stoics like Epictetus believed that external events, including the actions of others, should not disturb our inner tranquility. Holding on to anger denies us the serenity that comes with acceptance and moving forward. The dangers of associating with the unforgiving are multifaceted. On a personal level, their resentment can stifle the growth of relationships, creating an environment where old wounds are never allowed to heal. Professionally, it can lead to toxic work environments where collaboration and trust are undermined by suspicion and old grievances. Furthermore, the unforgiving often demand that those around them choose sides, creating divisions and conflict within groups. Recognizing the unforgiving begins by observing how they discuss past relationships and conflicts. Do they speak of old grievances as if they happened yesterday? Are they unwilling to see their own role in disputes or consider the possibility of misunderstanding? An unforgiving attitude often manifests as a pervasive negativity that can be emotionally draining to those around them. Dealing with unforgiving individuals involves promoting the Stoic values of empathy and understanding. Encouraging them to see situations from multiple perspectives can sometimes help lessen their grievances. Stoicism teaches that we should strive to understand and pardon others, recognizing that no one is perfect and that people often act out of ignorance rather than malice. However, if someone remains resolutely unforgiving despite attempts to guide them towards forgiveness and understanding, it may be necessary to protect your own emotional health by limiting contact with them. Stoicism does not advocate enduring harmful relationships. Instead, it encourages us to seek out and maintain bonds with those who contribute positively to our lives and to our moral and emotional growth. In conclusion, the unforgiving person represents a significant challenge to the Stoic goal of living a peaceful and harmonious life. By understanding the impact of their resentment and attempting to foster forgiveness, we can either help them move towards a more fulfilling and less burdened existence, or decide to distance ourselves to maintain our own well-being. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to unforgiving individuals teaches us about the power of forgiveness, not just as a gift to others, but as an essential practice for our own inner peace. Lesson 7. The Unforgiving: Stoicism's approach to forgiveness and resentment. Stoicism teaches the importance of forgiveness as a pathway to personal peace and communal harmony, warning against the corrosive nature of holding grudges. This lesson explores the Stoic perspective on why we should be wary of those who are chronically unforgiving, and how harboring resentment can be detrimental to both individual well-being and social relations. The unforgiving person holds on to past wrongs, refusing to let go of resentment and bitterness. This inability to forgive not only perpetuates personal suffering, but also poisons interactions with others, often keeping the unforgiving individual in a state of anger and victimhood. According to Stoic philosophy, such attitudes are in direct opposition to living a virtuous and rational life. Stoics like Epictetus believed that external events, including the actions of others, should not disturb our inner tranquility. Holding on to anger denies us the serenity that comes with acceptance and moving forward. The dangers of associating with the unforgiving are multifaceted. On a personal level, their resentment can stifle the growth of relationships, creating an environment where old wounds are never allowed to heal. Professionally, it can lead to toxic work environments where collaboration and trust are undermined by suspicion and old grievances. Furthermore, the unforgiving often demand that those around them choose sides, creating divisions and conflict within groups. Recognizing the unforgiving begins by observing how they discuss past relationships and conflicts. Do they speak of old grievances as if they happened yesterday? Are they unwilling to see their own role in disputes or consider the possibility of misunderstanding? An unforgiving attitude often manifests as a pervasive negativity that can be emotionally draining to those around them. Dealing with unforgiving individuals involves promoting the Stoic values of empathy and understanding. Encouraging them to see situations from multiple perspectives can sometimes help lessen their grievances. Stoicism teaches that we should strive to understand and pardon others, recognizing that no one is perfect and that people often act out of ignorance rather than malice. However, if someone remains resolutely unforgiving, despite attempts to guide them towards forgiveness and understanding, it may be necessary to protect your own emotional health by limiting contact with them. Stoicism does not advocate enduring harmful relationships. Instead, it encourages us to seek out and maintain bonds with those who contribute positively to our lives and to our moral and emotional growth. In conclusion, the unforgiving person represents a significant challenge to the Stoic goal of living a peaceful and harmonious life. By understanding the impact of their resentment and attempting to foster forgiveness, we can either help them move towards a more fulfilling and less burdened existence, or decide to distance ourselves to maintain our own well-being. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to unforgiving individuals teaches us about the power of forgiveness, not just as a gift to others, but as an essential practice for our own inner peace. Lesson 8. The overly ambitious. Stoicism on the dangers of excessive ambition. Stoicism warns against the potential harms of excessive ambition, highlighting how this trait can drive individuals to prioritize personal advancement at the expense of ethical considerations and the well-being of others. This lesson delves into why Stoics caution against trusting overly ambitious individuals and how such ambitions can conflict with Stoic virtues. In Stoicism, the pursuit of a virtuous life, characterized by moderation and alignment with nature, is considered the highest goal. Overly ambitious individuals, however, often seek power, status, or wealth without regard for the means by which these are achieved. This can lead to unethical behavior, exploitation, and a life dominated by insatiable desires rather than inner peace. Such individuals may also view relationships transactionally, valuing others primarily for their usefulness in achieving personal goals, rather than for mutual support and respect. The risks of engaging with overly ambitious individuals are significant. Their relentless pursuit of success can create a toxic environment for those around them, fostering competition, insecurity, and deceit. They may encourage you to compromise your own values for the sake of success or pressure you to partake in questionable practices. Furthermore, their focus on personal achievement can mean that they are fair-weather friends, present in times of success but absent in moments of need. Recognizing an overly ambitious individual involves observing their behavior and motivations. Are their actions consistently aimed at gaining power or recognition? Do they disregard the feelings or well-being of others in their decisions? Do they change loyalties based on who can serve their interests best? These patterns can indicate an unhealthy level of ambition. Dealing with overly ambitious people in a stoic manner involves maintaining your ethical standards and refusing to be swayed by their persuasive but potentially harmful approaches. Stoics would advise keeping a safe emotional and ethical distance while interacting with such individuals. Engage with them cautiously, being mindful of your personal and professional boundaries to ensure you do not become a means to their ends. If the relationship becomes detrimental to your values or peace of mind, Stoicism supports the idea of disengaging. This does not necessarily mean ending all contact, but minimizing the influence they have over your life and decisions. Instead, focus on building relationships with individuals who value integrity and the common good, as these are more likely to foster mutual growth and true fulfillment. In conclusion, the Stoic caution against the overly ambitious serves as a reminder of the importance of aligning one's actions with ethical principles and the collective well-being of the community. By recognizing the traits of excessive ambition and adhering to Stoic virtues, you can protect yourself from the potential negative impacts of such relationships and cultivate a life that prioritizes true virtue and contentment over superficial achievements. Lesson 9. The Gossip. Stoicism's stance on slander and idle talk. Stoicism teaches us the value of thoughtful speech and cautions against the dangers of gossip and slander, traits that not only degrade personal character, but also disrupt community harmony. This lesson explores why Stoics advise us to be wary of those who engage in gossip and how this behavior contradicts the Stoic virtues of wisdom and justice. Gossip, in the Stoic context, is considered harmful not just because it spreads unverified or false information, but because it focuses on the faults of others rather than on self-improvement or constructive dialogue. Gossips often seek to elevate themselves by diminishing others, creating divisions and mistrust within groups. This behavior is antithetical to Stoic principles, which promote unity, mutual respect, and the improvement of one's own character through reflection and self-discipline. The harm caused by gossip extends beyond mere words. It can ruin reputations, strain or break relationships, and lead to a toxic environment where truth and trust are casualties. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, engaging in or even passively listening to gossip was to be avoided, as it distracts from the pursuit of virtue and the essential task of bettering oneself. Identifying a gossip involves noticing patterns in their communication. Do they frequently share information about others that is personal, unnecessary, or unverified? Do they seem to relish in revealing secrets or in the misfortunes of others? Such behaviors are clear indicators of a gossiping nature. Dealing with a gossip according to Stoic principles involves several strategies. First, it is essential to not participate or encourage gossip. When encountering gossip, one can gently but firmly change the subject or express disinterest. This can discourage the gossip from continuing their behavior around you. Additionally, Stoicism teaches us to reflect on the reasons behind a gossip's behavior. often insecurity or a desire for acceptance, which can foster a sense of empathy rather than judgment. However, if the behavior continues despite these efforts, maintaining a distance from the gossip may be necessary to preserve your peace of mind and integrity. Stoics would advise minimizing contact with those who persist in destructive discourse, as continuing to engage with them can hinder your own moral and spiritual growth. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to lead by example. By consistently demonstrating integrity in speech and respecting the privacy and dignity of others, we can influence our community positively. This approach not only reinforces our commitment to Stoic virtues, but also promotes a healthier, more supportive social environment. In conclusion, gossip is a significant concern within Stoic philosophy due to its potential to harm individuals and communities. By recognizing the traits of a gossip and applying Stoic strategies to manage interactions with them, we can protect ourselves and others from the negative impacts of this behavior. Ultimately, cultivating a culture of respect and thoughtful speech aligns with the Stoic pursuit of a virtuous life, fostering a community where trust and integrity prevail. Lesson 10. The Envious: Stoicism's insights on envy and contentment. Stoicism, a philosophy that values personal virtue and emotional resilience, teaches us to be cautious of the envious, those who harbor resentment towards the success or happiness of others. This lesson examines why Stoicism counsels against trusting envious individuals and how their presence can be detrimental to personal growth and community well-being. Envy is considered harmful in Stoicism because it reflects a lack of self-sufficiency and an excessive concern with external possessions or status rather than inner virtue. Envious individuals often feel discontented with their own lives and resentful towards those who appear more fortunate. This bitterness can lead them to act maliciously towards others in an attempt to undermine their achievements or happiness. Such behavior is in direct conflict with Stoic principles, which advocate for rejoicing in the good fortune of others and focusing on one's own self-improvement. The presence of an envious person can be subtly corrosive. They may sow seeds of doubt, spread negativity, or manipulate situations to disadvantage those they envy. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, warned against allowing envious individuals into one's close circle, as their negative energy can distract and detract from one's pursuit of a virtuous and peaceful life. Recognizing envy involves observing not only how individuals speak about others' successes, but also how they react to their own setbacks or challenges. Do they consistently blame external circumstances or others for their misfortunes? Do they seem overly focused on comparing themselves to others? These behaviors are indicative of an envious mindset. Dealing with envious individuals from a Stoic perspective requires a balanced approach of compassion and boundary setting. On one hand, it is beneficial to show compassion, as envy often stems from insecurity or dissatisfaction with one's own life. Encouraging and helping envious individuals to recognize their own values and strengths can sometimes alleviate their feelings of inadequacy. However, it is also crucial to set firm boundaries to protect oneself from the potentially destructive impacts of their envy. This might mean distancing oneself from envious individuals or confronting their negative behaviors directly if they affect you personally. Stoicism teaches us to maintain our inner peace and focus on our own path, regardless of external disruptions. Furthermore, Stoics would advise reflecting on one's own potential for envy as a self-guarding technique. By understanding and addressing our own feelings of envy, we can better relate to others who struggle with it and strengthen our ability to remain content with our own circumstances. In conclusion, envy is antithetical to Stoic principles because it contradicts the virtues of contentment, rationality, and personal growth. By understanding the nature of envy and learning to manage relationships with envious individuals wisely, we not only protect our well-being, but also foster a more supportive and virtuous community. Cultivating contentment and focusing on personal virtues rather than external comparisons are key to living a fulfilled Stoic life. Lesson 11. The judgmental, Stoicism's view on judgment and acceptance. In the philosophy of Stoicism, excessive judgmental behavior is seen as a detriment to personal growth and social cohesion. This lesson discusses the Stoic rationale for caution against trusting judgmental individuals and how such attitudes can disrupt the development of a harmonious community and individual serenity. Stoicism teaches the importance of focusing on one's own actions and character rather than critiquing others. Judgmental people, who often rush to criticize or categorize others based on their actions or perceived shortcomings, undermine the Stoic goal of living in accordance with reason and virtue. This constant scrutiny can create an atmosphere of defensiveness and discord, which is counterproductive to the Stoic ideals of community and support. Judgment arises from the belief that one knows what is best for others or deems oneself morally superior. Such attitudes not only alienate others, but also reflect a lack of self-awareness and humility, qualities highly valued in Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic emperor and philosopher, emphasized observing oneself critically before judging others, suggesting that true wisdom comes from understanding and managing one's own imperfections. Recognizing a judgmental person involves noting how they speak about and interact with others. Do they frequently make unsolicited negative comments about others' choices? Do they show a lack of empathy or understanding towards different viewpoints or lifestyles? Such behaviors are key indicators of a judgmental attitude. Engaging with judgmental individuals in a Stoic manner involves several strategies. Firstly, it is crucial to not retaliate with judgment, but to respond with reason and equanimity. When confronted with harsh criticism, one might calmly question the basis of these judgments, challenging the judgmental person to reflect on their reasons and possibly reconsider their stance. However, if the judgmental behavior persists and begins to impact your peace of mind, Stoicism advocates for setting boundaries or limiting exposure to such negativity. It is important to surround oneself with people who foster a positive environment and encourage mutual growth, rather than those who perpetuate division and negativity. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to use encounters with judgmental individuals as opportunities for self-reflection. Are there aspects of your own behavior that could be perceived as judgmental? By recognizing and addressing your own potential biases, you can better navigate and possibly improve interactions with judgmental individuals, promoting understanding and patience. In conclusion, judgmental attitudes conflict with the Stoic principles of personal virtue and communal harmony. By understanding how to recognize and respond to such behaviors, one can maintain their commitment to Stoic ideals, focusing on personal improvement and contributing positively to their community. Dealing with judgmental people thoughtfully ensures that one's own path to virtue is not hindered by external negativity, maintaining both personal integrity and societal peace. Lesson 12. The fearful. Stoicism on fear and courage. Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches mastery over one's emotions through reason, regards living in fear as a significant barrier to personal growth and fulfillment. This lesson delves into why Stoics counsel caution against overly fearful individuals, highlighting how fear can distort perception, decision-making, and the ability to live according to rational principles. Fear, in the Stoic view, arises from a misunderstanding or misperception of reality. It often leads individuals to see threats where there are none, to exaggerate dangers, or to shrink from challenges that might lead to growth. Such a mindset not only hinders personal development, but also can spread to those around, sowing anxiety and hesitancy instead of resilience and action. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," suggesting that fear is more a product of our thoughts than of our circumstances. The Stoic approach to fear involves understanding its root in irrational thoughts and working to correct these through reason and reflection. Individuals who are habitually fearful may struggle to make decisions that align with their true interests or to take actions that would benefit them and others. Their fear can become a self-fulfilling prophecy as they fail to undertake the actions that would disprove their fears or improve their situations. Identifying an overly fearful person involves observing how they respond to potential risks or challenges. Do they frequently back down from opportunities due to exaggerated concerns? Do they discourage others from taking steps that involve uncertainty but could lead to significant rewards? Such behaviors indicate a dominance of fear in their decision-making process. Engaging with overly fearful individuals from a Stoic perspective requires a balance of empathy and encouragement. It is important to understand their fears without endorsing them. Stoics would advise offering support to help them examine the irrational basis of their fears and to focus on what is within their control, how they respond to and interpret their fears. However, if someone remains entrenched in their fearful outlook despite supportive efforts, it may be necessary to maintain a certain distance to preserve your own mental well-being and focus. Stoicism teaches the importance of surrounding oneself with people who embody the virtues you aspire to, such as courage and rationality, and who encourage you to face life's challenges with a calm and positive outlook. Moreover, Stoics would suggest using interactions with fearful individuals as an opportunity for self-examination and growth. Reflect on your own fears and consider whether they are holding you back in similar ways. By confronting and overcoming your own fears, you can set an example for others and potentially inspire them to do the same. In conclusion, while compassion and support for those who live in fear are important, Stoicism emphasizes the need to not let others' fears dictate your actions or dampen your spirit. By understanding the debilitating impact of fear and striving to live with courage and reason, you can lead a more fulfilled and fearless life, both as an individual and as a member of a community. As we conclude our exploration of the types of people Stoicism advises us to approach with caution, it's clear that the wisdom of the Stoics is not merely about avoiding certain individuals, but about cultivating discernment and resilience in our relationships. This journey through the teachings of Stoicism helps us recognize traits that may hinder our personal growth or disrupt communal harmony, guiding us toward more fulfilling interactions. The Stoics remind us that each person we encounter holds a mirror to our own character. By choosing to associate with those who embody virtues such as honesty, courage, and integrity, we not only enhance our own lives, but also contribute to the betterment of society as a whole. Conversely, being aware of and cautious about those who exhibit harmful traits, such as envy, dishonesty, and excessive pessimism, protects our inner tranquility and aids in our pursuit of a virtuous life. This series is not just about identifying negative traits in others, it's also a call to self-reflection. It challenges us to look within and ask if we embody any of these traits ourselves and how we might strive for improvement. Stoicism teaches that personal development is a continual process of refinement and adaptation, one that requires us to be ever vigilant and committed to our principles. Thank you for joining me on this insightful journey through Stoic philosophy. If you found these discussions enriching, please like, subscribe, and share this series with others who might also benefit from its teachings. Remember, the path to wisdom is not walked alone, but in the company of those who seek to grow and improve alongside us. Until next time, continue to seek out and nurture relationships that bring out the best in you, and let Stoicism guide you to lead a life of purpose, resilience, and harmony.